Welcome to the third episode of Literature with Lane. Today we're on the campus of the College of Charleston getting more into this book. So grab your books, flip to the correct page for once in your lives, and let's go. February 21st, Wednesday. Tomorrow I am to spend the day at the Butts, which is what they call archery targets here. Good start. And must do so in the company of the constable. Part of his work as warden of the castle is to train the castle guards and ensure that they are constantly ready to ward off an attack. To this end, he and his men practice their fighting skills as often as the weather and their other duties will allow. To him also is given the task of instructing us pages in the basic points of archery. Get it? Though clearly he does not relish such a chore, for when my uncle asked him to watch over me at the Butts, he protested loudly. He said that I was old enough to look after myself, which is true, but my uncle silenced him by saying, "Hush, man, 'tis just for one day. Once he has the hang of it, he can practice without your help, but this is my brother's only son. What say he if the lad be spiked with an arrow on his first day of yonder Butts?" February 22nd, Thursday. This morn the constable and I ventured out together to the Butts beyond the north wall, each of us pretending that we were alone. At home I have a bow which father fashioned for me, but when I saw what they call here a boy's bow, I knew mine was merely a toy. My new bow is made of yew wood and is as tall as me, straight as an iron rod, and is almost a stick. To bend it and to fit the string takes all my strength. My arrows are the perfect twins of those the castle guards use, but none in miniature. They have real goose feather flights, which are supposed to make them fly straight at the target. Oftener, though, my arrows fly elsewhere when I let go the bowstring. I had thought that my practice with arrows and the orchard at home last summer might be some help to me in this new endeavor, but I am by far the poorest archer in all the castle. March 3rd, Saturday. Have been neglectful of my journal of late, for studies and other tasks fill the daily hours when it is light enough to write. I made this entry in school while I did pretend to be studying my numbers. At the Butts yesterday, one of the archers showed me why his kind are so feared by the king's foes. With bow in hand, he stood before a tree with a trunk thicker than my chest. He pulled back the bowstring until the vein stood out upon his face, and when he loosed the arrow, its head passed clean through the tree trunk and pierced the other side. See this? The other archers jeered that he was showing off, and 4 more of them repeated his trick. But then when he let the 13th arrows in a minute, none took up his challenge to better him. March 9th, Friday. Practiced archery again today. This time I was much better and pulled the string right back. But when the constable saw this, he gave me a bigger bow, so once again I am the castle dizzard at the Butts. Of 12 arrows I shot with my new bow, only 4 hit target, while 7 fell on grass. 1 killed a sparrow in flight. Those watching cried "Hail!" and clapped, so I bowed low to them and said that 'twas but a fluke. March 11th, the Lord's Day. With much ceremony, a special dish was placed before me at dinner today. Baked on the skewer was the bird that I had shot. Cook, whose jest this was, called it sparrow a la arrow. Ha ha ha. And though there was scarce a mouthful of meat on the bird, it tasted well. March 12th, Monday. This morn I overheard my uncle say he was to visit the castle armory to see about some small changes to his helm. He wishes it to weigh less heavy on his head, yet better protect him at jousts. Of this tournament I know nothing, and I begged him leave to accompany him. In my excitement I quite forgot myself and began to say, "Uncle, tell me more about," for I desired most keenly to learn of those jousts. But then I remembered my manners, and blushing began anew. "My lord, If it pleases you, pray tell me more about this tournament." This made him laugh, and he spoke freely about it, saying that the jousts are to be held as usual on St. George's feast day, so I must wait 6 weeks. Within the armory, they make and mend all manner of weapons as well as armor, but the noise of hammering and the heat from the furnace in which they soften the metal were so great that they made my head swirl. 'Tis certain the sound that has made armorer and the smith and their apprentices deaf as beetles, for to make himself heard my uncle had to bellow like a braying ass.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left, 'cause I've been blasting it.
March 16th, Friday. My cousin Beth hath sewed me a shirt of Egyptical cotton. Wow, that was hard to say. I have never had before such a dainty garb. I hastened to put it on, but because it is the new seams and stitches rubbed my skin sore. Humphrey and Oliver both laughed at this and called me Christopher and Nigget. And moonlighting. Moonling? They are accustomed to new clothes and will suffer them until washing softens the folds, but I would rather wear my old linen shirt, for though it is more common, 'tis more comfortable. March 19th, Monday. Played at nights with Mark, Oliver, and Humphrey today. As Mark is bigger than me, he was the horse and I rode his back. We won. Oliver toppled from his horse and got a bloody nose. Serves him right, for he did twist my ears most painfully and call me the worst names when I first wore my new shirt. March 20th, Tuesday. Wrote yesternight by candlelight's flicker and fell asleep with quill in hand. When I awoke, the candle had set the pages alight and would have burned my straw mattress or worse if Humphrey had not smelled the smoke and beat out the flames. This morning, Chaplain likewise beat my backside to teach me to care with candles, he said. Ate saltfish again today. Disgusting. Here, they are more careful to follow the church's rules than at home, so besides every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday being big fish days, they also eat fish at each church festival. This means we eat vile fish more often than flesh of fowl. April 11th, Wednesday. Watched my uncle practice for the joust today. He charged 11 times at a wooden ring hung from a tree and caught it on his lance 5 times. It takes much skill to lift the ring from its hook while galloping at full speed, and all who saw this agree it bodes well for the contest. April 22nd, the Lord's Day. Tomorrow begins the joust. The host of noble knights who accepted my uncle's challenge are lodged at inns nearby or are encamped upon the fields outside the castle. 200 gaily colored tents sprouted in the night like mushrooms. Flying from lances planted in the ground, the knights' pennants look like flowers in a spring meadow. All the talk is of who shall prevail, and methinks the men of the castle guard place wages on the winner. I pray my uncle shall vanquish them all. Thanks for watching today's episode. You're on your own tomorrow.